Hi, this is John Allen Green, Franciscan hermit from Johannesburg with my weekly podcast. Without hope, our path leads only to death. But perhaps our hope, like the canned and looped holiday music, has lost some of its lustre. After 20 years, 40 years and 60 years, this same call to hope may have us either yawning or gritting our teeth. We have been witnesses to people born, suffering the loss of everything they hold dear, and dying under brutal dictatorships, or as the innocent pawns of greedy monopolies. We have seen young people's dreams shattered, and we have seen children dead on beaches, fleeing wars that they do not understand. We see our own dear beloved church squabbling over the use of words, or whether we should kneel or not while receiving communion, while our brothers and sisters feel themselves lost, excluded, and alone. Recently I witnessed the story of one young gay man moving from faith and hope and the work of caring for the poor, moved to despair, loneliness, and depression because of our angry ideology. This is not my Jesus. This is not my Christ. We have watched in sadness as the children of our African dictators use their looted wealth to pour a bottle of 5,000 rand champagne over a watch costing a staggering 900,000 rand, while the majority of their people live below the poverty line, cannot afford bread. The lies and the manipulation of those who are the gatekeepers to our resources. In this new post-truth era, borders blur between truth and lies, between honesty and dishonesty, between fiction and non-fiction. Deceiving others has become a challenge, a game, and ultimately a habit. What motivates this dishonesty that's become a creeping rot? Why do so many, even those with no apparent need to do so, feel a need to embellish their personal history? This question arises every time prominent figures are unmasked. Business people, politicians, journalists, judges, military officers, and the heads of sports committees, presidents and pastors. The quoting of authority is unsourced or irrelevant. Unearned degrees that show up on their resumes, purchased patronage that is brazenly boasted about, the photoshopped lives of our superlatives that are branded on public media, all of these post-truth. In this post-truth area, can our sweet-sounding pious sermons lift the darkness of those who've become the victims to modern-day slavery? Can the slick promises of the prosperity cults say anything to a dying child on the streets of Baghdad? Somehow our joy seems far away, and the rainbows grow dim as we feel the oppressive greyness of Advent, preparations for the coming Christmas. The carols can feel empty and oppressive amid the glitzy rows of Buy Me. The feverish preparations for family lunches and the exchange of gifts can weigh us down, as remember the ever longer growing list of our departed family, friends, and dear ones. Pope Francis warns of the greatest threat of all, that is the grey pragmatism of the daily life of the Church, in which all appears to proceed normally, which in reality faith is wearing down. Pope Francis warns against defeatism, urging Christians to become signs of hope, bringing about a revolution of tenderness. but we cannot give what we do not have. How do we relight our hope in this Advent season that leads us into the 2018 church year? I think Jesus showed us how it's necessary to touch our human misery, to touch the suffering flesh of others, as we also touch his flesh in the sacrament of Holy Communion. In our dealings with the world, we are told to give reasons for our hope, but not as an enemy who critiques and condemns. Only the person who feels happiness in seeking the good of others, in desiring the happiness of others, can be a missionary. If I can help at least one person to have a better life, that already justifies the offering of my own life. This Advent, take time, walk among the trees and look at their majestic, fractal beauty, remembering that they represent the most successful species that the earth has ever seen. Let us be grateful. Build a little Advent garden, for gardens can only be planted in hope. Each time we leave home, let's add an extra 15 minutes to our trip, to speak to the car guards and to greet the beggars. These are our brothers and sisters, and each has a story to tell in which we can encounter Jesus. Perhaps we can take time to visit an orphanage, or even the local animal shelter, and help with walking the dogs. Yes, may our encounter with Jesus in his living world and with his people bring us all, each one of us, to new hope, to joy, and to peace. May the Lord grant you peace.